The original OG with Dr. Cheryl Dawson is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for your support.
Greetings, my name is Cheryl Dawson and this is My Truth. I come to you today to share my vision for creating a new initiative which embraces the unique talents, strengths, and abilities of a segment of the population which is often overlooked. What I'm referring to are members of the African American or Black community in China. China is a vast land that presents vast opportunities for big thinkers. And as an African American female and a big thinker, I embrace the unknown. I look at China as an opportunity to leverage my talents and abilities because there's enough here in terms of resources to help you create a new life for yourself. I often talk about China as a great place when you need to find your way. It's a great place to even step into your calling, into your purpose. One such person here that I honestly believe she ran across her calling early on, but it wasn't informed until she arrived in the great land of Shanghai. This woman is so inspirational that when I think of her, I remember watching a PBS show one day. And at the end of the show, they always had this tagline. They said, PBS makes the difference between mediocrity and excellence. That's how I feel about this young lady here. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Nikki Carr. Welcome, Nikki, and welcome to Overseas Game Changers, the original OGs. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for your warm welcome.
I'd like to know a little bit about your background and if you are aware that your childhood may have impacted your journey thus far. Tell us where you're from.
So I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm from the 8th Ward, if you're familiar with New Orleans, from Gentilly area. Um, my high school was McDonald 35. This was the first African American high school in New Orleans. So we were just pretty much raised and groomed for Black excellence. Um, I went to culinary school at John Fo's Culinary Institute in Thibodaux, Louisiana. It's about an hour away from New Orleans. And Chef John Fosse, he cooked for Beyonce, and I remember him coming to school, and he was so excited to let us know that he cooked for Beyonce for the Grammys and blah blah blah. Um, that experience was okay for me, but I don't think that really gave me any idea abroad. Um, my first job, I worked at for internship. I worked at the Royal Sonesta Hotel, and I had a little bit of a connection with some of the interns. But it wasn't until I worked for the Hyatt that I really got in touch with the J1 interns. So we had interns from the Philippines, from Korea, Thailand, and right before I moved to China, my last position as a supervisor was to train all of the new hires. And the very last person I trained was a Chinese lady, an older Chinese lady. She had married an American guy and she moved to America. So I was training her, and I'll never forget when I announced that I was going to move to China. She was just like, "What? How could you? Like, how would you do such a thing?" And then she was like, "You know what? Right now is okay. 10 years ago, I would say no, it's too poor. But now it's okay. Now you can do it." Actually came to visit me about 2 years ago. So that definitely changed my mindset to move here. But as far as my childhood, mm, so my grandmother adopted me. So that whole experience, I kind of was raised independently. So maybe that kind of gave me the urge that, okay, I can survive on my own outside of being very close to my family. Maybe that.
Interesting. And you said something which is quite revealing for me, that you encountered a woman who was from China and she almost tried to discourage you from going to China. It takes that kind of courage to overlook, not to minimize, but to overlook what other people's opinions are about us. And I find that game changers, people like yourselves and ourselves, that when we travel abroad, we have something, an innate ability to be tenacious, an innate ability to be resilient. Can you talk a little bit about your brand? Because it's one thing to be a chef, a culinary art, and then there's another to be a businesswoman. You're a powerhouse businesswoman. And I remember, I think I probably met you at the beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur. And it was incredible. And you were incredible. And I remember ordering from you, was for my birthday. It was a vegan birthday cake. And I said I was going to share it with others and I was going to take my time. My birthday was leap year. And I ate the whole thing soon as it arrived. I didn't sit down, I didn't unpack it. I just took my fork and I could not stop eating. But I really want you to talk about your entrepreneur side because it is a spirit that you must have. Was your grandmother an entrepreneur? Can you speak to that?
I agree. It definitely is a thing. The only one in my family that's an entrepreneur is my brother-in-law. And when I was raised, I was kind of raised with him as like the father figure in my life. So he has an electrician company, but even, I mean, as far as I can remember, he's always owned his own business. So I would say he's been my biggest, I guess, inspiration for wanting to do entrepreneurship. Um, I will say for sure that you have to have some kind of spirit for this. Even, going to school, I learned to be a culinary artist. I learned to cook. I learned to bake. I learned, the technical items, but I didn't learn how to actually navigate the business side of things. These are just things you have to learn as you go.
Did you have a support in starting your business, and also, and did you have support moving to China? Because I found that I didn't have either. So I just want to find out.
I came here, actually, I didn't think that I was coming here to bake or cook or anything. So when I was coming here, people would always talk about the little easy bake ovens. So we call them like toaster ovens at home. So I would say that I'm a very resourceful person. So even before coming here, I'd already connected with folks here. I downloaded WeChat, the social media platform here. If you live in China, you have to have WeChat. There is no living here without WeChat. So I'd already connected with people and been added to groups. So when I told people what my background was, all of them were saying, you can't bake here. There's only the little toaster ovens here. But once I got here, I realized you can do everything in these little toaster ovens. I ran business for over a year in the little toaster oven before I learned how to use Taobao. Taobao is like our Amazon, eBay. So before I learned how to use Taobao and upgrade, I've used that little toaster oven for a whole year.
So I noticed. Okay, so one of the challenges was the appliances that were available to you. And
Mhm.
starting your business, was this a thought out plan? Did you seek investors, startup funding, or did you just start with one cookie at a time? Brownies.
I came here to teach. So I came here to teach. I didn't think that I would be baking. I left my all my materials and my chef jacket at home. I came here literally to teach. So from working at the Hyatt, being a supervisor, that meant you work long hours. And I worked the 4 a.m. shift. So that meant if someone called in, it was very easy for them to ask me to stay over. And because you're in management, you don't have the leeway to say, no, what, I can't stay. You have to stay. So moving here, my idea was just come teach for a year, have a little fun, and go back home. Now that 1 year has turned into almost six now. The business actually just kind of like grew. So it got to the point where me teaching full time and me trying to run a business was just overkill. So I would be working from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., like, the regular company teaching English. And then I would come home and need to do networking to grow the business, customer service, ordering, marketing. It just got to be too much. And then when COVID happened, we were only earning 70%. And
Mm.
so I thought, if I'm only earning 70% of my income and I'm still surviving, I can just go out and work for myself. I can just try, at least try. And so that's where I'm at now. So currently I'm only working on weekends. I work from 4 hours every Saturday and Sunday.
Well, now see,
Yeah.
now this young lady is being very modest because I seen a clip of your new space. It's massive. It's phenomenal. It's hip, trendy. The name of your business, your brand, Shanghai, if I'm saying it right, Shanghai, is phenomenal. Can you talk a little bit about your brand, Shanghai? I mean, just
Okay.
the company name is so phenomenal and so creative. Tell us what was the um, inspiration for your brand.
Okay, so being from New Orleans, um, the fleur de lis, like the fleur de lis flower, the symbol of our Saints football team, is like, I don't know, it's like our motto at home. So the original brand name was Fleur de Sweets. But when I used this name, people immediately thought that we did French pastries. So they were asking me for croissants and other laminated pastries. So we decided to rebrand to Sugar High. So Sugar High is a play on Shanghai, of course. So sugar is like a term of in like a endearment that your grandmother would call you, or like
That
someone.
sugar, girl, come on here, sugar, and get some of this some milk and cookies. Come on, baby.
Exactly. Um, and then for the high part, it's like euphoria. Like when you eat the food and the sweets, it's like you're feeling very, very happy.
And you do feel happy, and I do feel happy. I become a glutton when I eat your pastries, your baking. Now, how are you getting the word out about your brand? I'm honored to have you here, and I'm honored to be able to present your brand in the American market. I know that's something you were thinking about, but this and initially will be in Atlanta market, and then ultimately across the globe through the various home devices to about 50 million people. Did you ever think, because everybody's so fascinated by China, the mystique of China, did you ever think that you're bringing something to China which is so unique in terms of in the culinary arts area, but you're a trendy. So the brand and the individual, I always think about who is the person. And if I had to describe you, I would say like, you're hip, you're cool, you're trendy. It makes eating sound exciting. So if you those out there who suffer with a food emotional eating, that's okay. Go get some brownies. Tell us about your product offering because you're cool. When I think of you, I'm thinking like I'm gonna have a good time ordering something from her. The name pops, you pop. So tell us a little bit about your market.
Okay, so at first we only offered sweets. We would offer soul food or regular food only for Thanksgiving or Christmas. And then it got to the point where people were asking for it outside of Christmas and Thanksgiving, outside of the 2 weeks for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So here, expats, we celebrate for about 2 weeks before and after holidays. So I decided to just go down and bring it into a standard menu now. So when people ask me, what is Sugar High? I introduce it as Sugar High is an e-commerce Cajun and Creole sweetery and eatery. So you can get your eateries and your sweeteries. We specialize in mostly Cajun and Creole things because I'm from New Orleans. And you can order on our website and it's sent to your house. So we ship not only in Shanghai but across China. So here we call it Kuaidi, the delivery service is very efficient. I can send it out today at 7 p.m. You can receive it in your city tomorrow, the earliest 12 p.m., the latest 8 p.m. the next day.
Now, something you said when you use the delivery service, which is not in English. Tell us about your Mandarin skills. Have you developed? Have you acquired it? How comfortable are you with using the language?
So I've been here almost 6 years now. Do meet other expats that have been here so long and they don't feel the need to know it, but I feel like in order for me, especially for my employees now, my employees are Chinese, so I have to know the language. I can't say that I am completely fluent, but I definitely can get by. I can get that for sure. I can read a little bit. I remember at first thinking I would never be able to read these characters, but they're literally just pictures. They're pictures. They're pictures. I can read a lot of it now. And the delivery apps, I would say they're mostly the same. So if you can do one, you can normally do them all. And translation is always helpful here.
Now, I don't know if you've been listening carefully, viewers, because I love what she just said. I've been here 6 years and I can speak a little, but because I have employees. This is a big boss. She said, I have
Now,
employees.
now,
She slipped that in
now,
so casually. Tell us, how many employees do you have? Excuse me, I got to give you a. How many employees do you have now? Doesn't matter if it's now or how many do you have?
I have three now. So it's four team members, including myself.
Tell us a little about them and their opportunity to learn Cajun cuisine from an American. And I know the Chinese, I know they're fascinated by you, fascinated by your business, fascinated by your space. You're not giving a lot of credence to your space, though. It's
Okay,
beautiful.
so first, before I talk about the staff, the space that I have. So there was a lady named Jujie. When I tell you she's like an angel in disguise. So basically, the space is a shared kitchen space, but a lot of people weren't using it, and it's a brand new space, only been open about a year and a half now. And another chef introduced me to her. And when I first talked to her, she was telling me how when she first started in the baking world 17 years ago, that it was just her and someone else helped her to find her way, and she wanted to pretty much pay it forward. And that was her idea of allowing me to use the space. And basically, I rent it as I need it, so I don't need to be bogged down with paying a monthly rent or a hefty deposit, because here in Shanghai and China in general, there's something called a transfer fee. So with the transfer fee, when you want to own a business, you pay the transfer fee. Now, mind you, this transfer fee can be between 200,000 RMB to 500,000 RMB. This transfer fee allows you to have the licensing for the company and also the building, the space, the chairs, everything according to the building. So I was able to bypass this step thanks to the ancient disguise you did. Um, so I have a shared kitchen space. I'm able to use it as my base kitchen space, just simply because she believed in me. Now on to my staff. So I have one cook. His name is Walker. He's a Chinese. He doesn't speak any English. So that was definitely a big struggle. Mostly I have to find a similar method, like a YouTube video, download the video, send him the video, and then translate my recipes so that he can follow along with the ingredients that I'm giving him and the instructions I'm giving him, but he can see the process through YouTube. And then I have my assistant, Ali. She speaks great English. It was just a chance meeting. I met her as a friend, and literally she told me, she was like, so you need an assistant? I'll work myself for you. I'm like, you do what? Okay, that's the type of energy I need, okay? And then I have Valerie. So Valerie is from Tennessee. She is another Black American. So she pretty much she helps me with marketing and events.
Tennessee, of course, a place close to my heart. My maternal side is from Chattanooga. So I wanted to, yeah, from Chattanooga. One of the things I'm looking at you, you look very calm, very, a lot of great deal of composure. What, aside from your business, entrepreneurs always light up about their business, and I can see when you talk about it. Aside from your business, what lights you up about living your best life truly in China?
Um, I would say the blending of cultures here. So
Yeah.
people say America is so diverse, but I have never, ever in America had the opportunities to be around so many different people here. Like just a random night out, you get into a van or a taxi, you're with friends, and you're literally in a car with people from five different countries. From five different countries. I've never
Yes.
had that experience. I mean, maybe it happens in other cities, but in New Orleans, maybe in the circle that I was in, it just didn't happen. So I would say that's the best part about living here. And also the food. So, of course, I'm bringing food here. But the food culture here in Shanghai, You can literally have food from anywhere in the world. Like Shanghai, they're true foodies. Like the expats and the locals, they are foodies to the heart.
That is so true. Now, would you ever think about offering seminars, for example? Because I can see people watching you to have these food trips where they're coming to you to learn cuisine from the US. Once China opens after COVID-19, really my aim for creating a show like this is for opening the dialogue and changing the narrative about expats of color in China to connect them with Americans and connect them with people from the Western world who've always wanted to go to China, but for some reason, the idea of solo travel might be too intimidating, but to offer a different service. Have you ever thought about expanding into that area?
I haven't thought about that, but I definitely do cooking classes. Like I just did a Mother's Day cooking class with the moms, and we did a cooking tip. So we had where the people came in, we taught them how to cook a few things, and then how to make a few cocktails as well. But I hadn't thought about seminars. I'd definitely be open to that.
Yeah, because with the world being closed down for so long, now there's a resurgence of energy and eagerness to travel. People are almost like, I can't wait to travel. But to have
So,
travel and the cooking and to get to know Chinese culture and to combine the two, it would be an awesome opportunity. And
I,
you're bringing your teaching skills. You're bringing in your
mhm.
teaching and your love for working with people. At the end of the day, I've got to ask you a question. I've always asked guests this question. Do you feel that living and working in China and creating a business in China is your purpose? Do you realize, is it your purpose or is it a call? Or are you still looking for that
Mm,
that call?
a- or a call. Honestly, um, I just go with the flow of life. I'd like to say that I'm a planner, that I'm a like a crucial planner, but I'm not. I just go with the flow of things. I didn't come here thinking that I would start a business. I didn't come here thinking that I would be cooking at all. It just happened. It literally just happened, and it was something that I could not run away from. As much as I would think, oh, it's such hard work or whatever, each time I thought, okay, this is too much. I'm gonna, slow down a bit. I always get some kind of confirmation. The universe sends someone to send me a message on WeChat or just pull me aside to talk to me. So we had the Juneteenth event on Saturday, and someone after the event, guy, he pulled me to the side, Kamal, and he's like, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just need to let you know what you're doing is amazing, and just simple things like that. The universe sends me confirmations often. So I would say yes, this is my purpose. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah,
And
for
I'm
sure.
so thankful. And I'm so thankful because I think, and I've always thought from the time I saw your photo on WeChat to the time I read your story, that you're incredible. You're amazing. I'm so full and I'm so honored to be able to share this platform with you, to share your story, to be able let me just be honest, to let the world know how great you really are. And that it's not just courage that took you across the waters. There is something deeper that you weren't even aware of, but you submitted to that call, whatever you want to call it. I hear it in your voice that you submitted to that. And I see the light that you carry around you. And you're just as exquisite as your culinary cuisine. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
thank you. I'm so honored. I really am touched. You're helping me stay in my purpose. And my purpose is to be a storyteller and share the story of men and women of color who have found success and overcome obstacles on foreign soil. I want to thank everyone for tuning in with this young, beautiful woman, Chef Nikki, and her journey about traveling from Louisiana to Shanghai. And keep in mind, as the world begins to open, everybody always thinks about China. China always gets a negative press, but you hear and you see in front of you two women who can only report positive experiences in China. And every time I think about China, I miss it. I'm homesick. But speaking with Chef Nikki today, I feel like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and I can click my heels and I am almost home. So I thank you
Aw.
so much. Love and light for you. Continue blessings. I speak nothing but blessings over your head. You're an amazing person. You're changing lives.
Thank
Final words
you.
you would like to share with our viewers?
As far as coming to China, I definitely say do it. We are here, we are out here. Like before I came, I definitely did not imagine what I would see here, but now we're here. We're here. Get WeChat, Facebook, get into the groups, connect so that when you come, you can have the warm welcome. And yeah, we're here. That's it.
Yeah, I had a friend that used to tell me, "We out here in these streets, girl. We are out here in these
We
streets." So
are.
take off all that professional. We're just gonna speak sister to sister. We are in these streets. So you want to learn about China and you want to connect with your tribe? Yes. Thank you so much. Love and
All
light
right.
and peace and blessings. Thank you, everyone. And remember, this episode today is brought by Curb Solutions. Curb Solutions works with expats and help you manage your assets once you're getting ready to go back home. But I don't think Nikki's going home anytime soon.
You all once again for making this possible. I can't wait to welcome you all to Shanghai's new home.
The original OG with Dr. Cheryl Dossett is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for your support.